What you do with your money when nobody's watching. That's the real wealth test. Not the car in your driveway. Not the bag on your arm. Not the portfolio screenshots you're posting online. The actual decisions you make quietly, privately, when there's zero audience. Because here's what most people never figure out. The gap between looking wealthy and being wealthy is one of the most dangerous financial traps ever designed. And today we're going to walk through every single sign, every subtle pattern, every psychological trap that keeps people performing prosperity while building absolutely nothing underneath. This is a video that could genuinely change how you see money forever. So before we dive in, if you're new here, welcome to Trip to Wealth. We talk about real financial intelligence, not highlights, not flexes, not shortcuts. If that's what you've been looking for, hit subscribe right now and join a community that's actually building something. Let's go! We are living in a time when the performance of wealth has never been easier to pull off and never been more expensive to maintain. Social media platforms reward display over discipline. Entire industries have been built around making ordinary people look extraordinary for a few $100s a month. The Mercedes C-Class with nothing in the bank. The Gucci belt on a maxed-out credit card. The Instagram grid that looks like a travel magazine but is funded by 3 different payment plans. None of this is accidental. It is a carefully engineered ecosystem that profits from your desire to appear successful. Americans now carry over $1 trillion in credit card debt collectively. Yet luxury car sales keep climbing. Designer goods keep selling. The math should not work, but it does, because we have confused the image of wealth with wealth itself. Understanding this distinction is not about judging other people. It is about protecting yourself from the same trap, because these patterns are seductive, normalized, and financially devastating. The first sign is subtle but everywhere once you spot it. Someone buys the cheapest version of the most prestigious brand. The base model luxury sedan. The starter handbag from a fashion house. The entry-level Swiss watch. The badge is the entire point. They want what the logo communicates, not what the product actually delivers. Here is the financial reality hiding underneath. A fully equipped mainstream vehicle often costs the same as a stripped-down luxury alternative, but comes with better reliability, lower insurance premiums, cheaper maintenance, and no premium fuel requirement. The person chasing the emblem on the hood is paying more every single month for less actual car, and it compounds. Base model luxury vehicles carry luxury repair costs regardless of their trim level. The perception game is expensive to maintain. Genuine wealth does not work this way. Truly wealthy people often purchase status items after building substantial financial foundations, not before. The fake rich reverse the order, buying the symbol first and hoping the substance follows. It almost never does. The order of operations matters more than most people realize. Sign 2. Pay attention to people who cannot stop steering conversations back to money, specifically their money. Their deals, their income, their investments, their upcoming opportunities. Every topic somehow becomes a launchpad for demonstrating financial significance. Here is what this behavior actually reveals. People who are genuinely secure in their financial lives do not require constant external confirmation. The compulsive need to remind others of your financial status is the need talking, not the status. There is also a very specific tell within this pattern, the consistent use of future tense. The deal closing next month. The investment that is about to pay off. The opportunity that is going to change everything. Always projected, always upcoming, never quite here yet. That distance between the claim and the reality is where the truth lives. Real money hits your account. It does not live in next month's projections. Additionally, watch for the confusion of revenue and profit. Someone describing a $500,000 business when their actual take-home is a fraction of that figure. The exaggeration is the insecurity speaking. Genuinely wealthy people tend to be remarkably private about finances because they have nothing left to prove. If you're enjoying the video so far and want more like this, comment the word wealth so I know. Sign 3. This is one of the most quietly alarming patterns in personal finance. Someone carrying a bag, wearing a watch, or sporting an accessory that represents more than their entire emergency fund. The purchase is not a celebration of success. It is a costume worn in advance of success that has not arrived. There is a principle worth keeping in your mental toolkit. If you cannot comfortably afford to buy something twice without financial strain, you cannot genuinely afford it once. When a single purchase represents multiple months of income for someone, that is not wealth. That is financial vulnerability dressed in luxury branding. What makes this particularly damaging is the interest layer. Some people are literally financing designer handbags, making monthly payments on a depreciating accessory. By the time the item is paid off, they have spent significantly more than the original price tag on something now worth considerably less. The item impresses strangers for seconds. The financial damage lasts for years. People with actual wealth purchase luxury items that represent a tiny percentage of their net worth, not a substantial portion of their monthly budget. Sign 4. This is the person who cannot let a single moment of someone else's success exist without immediately redirecting the spotlight. You share good news. Before anyone can respond, they have already topped it. You mention a vacation. They explain their more exotic destination. You land a new client. They pivot immediately to their bigger win from last quarter. This pattern masquerades as confidence, but is actually its opposite. Someone genuinely comfortable with their own achievements has no psychological need to diminish yours. Your success simply does not threaten them. The one-upper is threatened by every win that is not their own because their self-worth is built on relative comparison rather than internal foundation. Picture a dinner party. Someone announces they just bought their first home. Before the congratulations even land, the one-upper is already explaining why they should have waited for a bigger property, using their own first purchase as the benchmark. The joy evaporates from the room. That deflation is a symptom of someone whose identity requires being superior in every exchange. Real confidence is generous. It can celebrate other people wholeheartedly. Fake wealth is competitive and threatened, requiring conquest in every single conversation. Sign 5. The social media wealth performance. Here is an uncomfortable truth about social media and money. A video of someone spending $1,000 at a luxury mall generates more engagement than a video of someone investing that same $1,000 into an index fund. The platform rewards display. Discipline is invisible. This dynamic creates a powerful and dangerous incentive. People learn that projecting wealth generates attention regardless of whether the wealth behind the projection is real. So they perform prosperity. They document every purchase, every experience, every meal at an expensive restaurant, not because the moment was meaningful, but because the post requires content. The purchase only feels complete once it has been validated by strangers online. Nobody posts their Saturday night doing budgets. Nobody films themselves quietly moving money into investment accounts. The boring architecture of actual wealth building gets 0 views. What gets views is the performance. Watch for another layer within this pattern: purchased engagement. Accounts with enormous follower counts but comment sections filled with generic phrases from bots. Fake influence layered on top of fake wealth. Meanwhile, many genuinely wealthy individuals maintain minimal social media presence precisely because they do not need external validation from people they have never met. Now I want to share a story that ties everything we have covered together. A man we will call Marcus grew up watching his father work 2 jobs. Nothing glamorous, nothing visible, just steady, quiet effort. Marcus swore his life would look different. By his early 30s, he had landed a solid corporate salary, and the first thing he did was upgrade everything visible. New lease on a luxury sedan, designer wardrobe, dinners at expensive restaurants that he documented religiously. His social media became a highlight reel that drew genuine admiration from people who had known him for years. But behind the feed, Marcus had virtually nothing saved. His lease payments consumed a significant chunk of his income. His credit card balance grew every month. The gap between what his life looked like and what his life actually was became a source of private, crushing anxiety. The performance got more expensive each year to maintain, and the foundation underneath it remained hollow. It was not until a sudden medical expense nearly destroyed him financially that Marcus stopped. He sold the lease, cut the wardrobe budget, and redirected every freed dollar toward an emergency fund, then toward investments. Within 4 years of making that pivot quietly and without announcement, Marcus had built more genuine financial security than the entire previous decade of performing prosperity had produced. Real wealth came the moment he stopped trying to look wealthy. Sign 6. Leasing a luxury vehicle has become so normalized that most people no longer recognize it for what it is financially. Here is the honest breakdown. When you lease, you are financing the most expensive depreciation period of a vehicle's life and then returning it with zero equity. The dealership estimates the car's residual value at lease end, and you pay the gap between purchase price and that residual, plus interest, fees, and taxes. When the lease ends, you hand the car back and begin the entire cycle again with a fresh vehicle. Someone who leases continuously for 2 decades makes potentially hundreds of thousands of dollars in total payments and owns absolutely nothing at the end. Not $1 of equity. The appeal is purely optical. The monthly payment makes an unaffordable vehicle feel affordable while delivering the badge, the new car smell, and the social signal. What it does not deliver is financial progress. For someone who genuinely values a luxury driving experience for reasons beyond status, purchasing a quality used vehicle represents dramatically better financial math. But purchasing used does not provide the brand new emblem that fake rich requires. The perpetual lease cycle is one of the most expensive ways to travel through life financially. And it is engineered to look completely reasonable on a monthly basis. And to take full control of your finances, we're building the Trip to Wealth Command Center, a Google Sheets system that brings your income, spending, investing, and net worth together in one place. It's your personal strategy hub, designed to expose money leaks, highlight growth opportunities, and show how small decisions compound into real wealth. Join the early access list below and secure a discount as an early supporter. Every wealth system needs a strategy. This is where yours begins. Let's move into sign number 7, counterfeit goods and logo hunger. If someone is carrying a deliberately counterfeit designer item, they are not just carrying a fake bag. They are carrying a physical declaration of the gap between their desired identity and their financial reality. People who genuinely understand quality goods can identify a counterfeit from across a room. The stitching is inconsistent. The hardware lacks weight. The leather does not have the right texture. The logo proportions are slightly wrong. The people you are hoping to impress with a fake are often the most capable of spotting it. Here is what makes this particularly revealing. A reasonable quality counterfeit can cost several $100s. For that same money, a genuinely well-crafted product from an independent brand, real leather, solid construction, original design, is absolutely within reach. But the person choosing the counterfeit does not want quality. They want a specific name that other people will recognize. The logo is the entire point, not the craftsmanship. This reveals the underlying motivation with unusual clarity. It is purely about external perception. Counterfeits deliver neither the status they are attempting to project nor the quality that would actually justify the purchase. You pay money to carry evidence of the pretense itself. Sign 8, the get-rich-quick rotation. This is not about obvious scams. Those are easy to dismiss. This is about something more subtle. The person who cycles endlessly through slightly plausible opportunities, always projecting confidence, always recruiting others, always describing the massive upside, and then quietly moving on when the results do not materialize. Forex trading, drop shipping, day trading options, multi-level marketing structures, various crypto strategies, mysterious systems with proprietary methodology. The specific vehicle changes constantly. The pattern never does. What makes this recognizable is the timeline. There is always massive enthusiasm at the beginning, public proclamations about the opportunity, attempts to bring friends and family into the system. 6 months later, the topic has disappeared entirely. No post-mortem. No honest accounting. Just seamless migration to the next thing with equivalent confidence. Acknowledging failure would fracture the identity they have constructed around being financially sophisticated and ahead of the curve. So the failure simply gets quietly buried. Real wealth is built through consistent, boring, long-horizon behavior. Compound growth, diversified investment, increasing income over time. None of it is dramatic enough to fit the fake rich narrative. When someone cannot stop talking about the next big opportunity, their current financial reality is almost certainly not matching the story they are telling. Sign 9. Unsolicited, condescending money advice. This is distinct from one-upping, though they share a root. The condescending advisor does not just want to top your achievements. They want to redirect your financial decisions toward whatever they have chosen. You mention you are happy renting. They explain why you should be buying. You describe your reliable used car. They question your reluctance to finance something newer. You share that you are aggressively building savings. They suggest that money should be working harder, usually in whatever vehicle they are currently invested in. The advice arrives without invitation and always points toward their own choices as the implicit gold standard. What is driving this behavior is the need for external validation of their own decisions. If your different approach is working, it threatens their narrative. So they undermine your path to reinforce their own confidence. Someone who genuinely understands personal finance recognizes that financial situations are deeply individual. Risk tolerance, timeline, income, obligations, values, all of it varies enormously from person to person. There is no universal correct answer. The person dispensing unsolicited judgment from a position of assumed superiority is not demonstrating financial mastery. They are demonstrating insecurity about whether their own choices were actually correct. Sign 10. The final sign is the loudest, most visible one. When everything someone wears, drives, carries, and displays is engineered to scream money, the effect paradoxically does the opposite of impressing. It reads as desperate. Look at photographs of genuinely ultra-wealthy individuals in ordinary settings, not at formal events or press appearances, but just navigating daily life. Many of the world's wealthiest people are completely unremarkable in appearance. A plain shirt, a modest vehicle, no logos visible from 20 feet. They have nothing to prove to passing strangers, so they prove nothing. Their security does not require your recognition. The fake rich operate from the opposite psychological position. They feel they have everything to prove. So every item becomes a statement. Every visible surface becomes a billboard for projected status. The louder the display, the more effort it reveals. And effort reveals need. Actual wealth tends toward understatement precisely because it does not require validation. When every single element of someone's visible presentation is curated to broadcast financial status, the broadcast itself becomes the evidence that the substance may be missing. Real confidence is quiet. Real wealth whispers. At the deepest level, the difference between real and fake wealth comes down to a single question: who are you optimizing for? The fake rich run every financial decision through an external filter. Will this impress people? Will this signal success? Will this make me look like someone who has figured it out? The genuinely wealthy optimize internally. Does this decision serve my actual goals? Does this move me toward financial freedom? Does this align with what I genuinely value, separate from any audience? One orientation builds compounding wealth over time. The other bleeds it month after month in the service of a performance that delivers no return. The truly dangerous part is how invisible this trap is from the inside. The performance feels good. The validation feels real. The status signals seem to be working. But underneath, the financial foundation is deteriorating. The maintenance costs of appearing wealthy are rising every year. The gap between the image and the reality grows harder to manage. And real wealth, the kind that creates genuine options and genuine freedom, remains permanently out of reach as long as every available dollar is allocated to the performance instead of the foundation. Before we close, let's bring this full circle, because understanding these signs is only the beginning. The entry-level luxury trap, the constant money talk, the designer item bleeding your savings, the one-upping, the social media performance, the perpetual lease cycle, the counterfeit logo hunger, the endless get-rich-quick rotation, the condescending unsolicited advice, the deafening display of everything. Each of these patterns has the same underlying architecture, external validation taking priority over internal financial health. And here is how you begin moving in the opposite direction, starting today. Audit one financial decision you made in the last 90 days and ask honestly, did I make this choice for myself or for an audience? One honest audit. Then redirect even a small amount, any amount, towards something that builds rather than displays. Emergency fund, investment account, debt reduction. It does not need to be dramatic. It needs to be consistent. Small, repeated, invisible decisions compound into real financial freedom. That is not a motivational phrase. It is mathematics. The goal has never been to look wealthy. The goal is to quietly, patiently become wealthy, and then realize you never needed anyone to notice. And that's all for today's video on 10 signs someone is fake rich. If you found value today, I highly recommend watching my next video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Also, feel free to leave your comment below, especially if this video made you think differently. I appreciate your support more than you know. Until next time, stay consistent, stay patient, and stay winning. See you in the next one, Money Magician.